Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into some fascinating insights from an All Blacks World Cup hero himself, Stephen Donald. He's been talking about the art of the drop goal and has named his all-time top 3. Plus, he's got some thoughts on England's recent victory over the All Blacks, so you'll want to stick around for that. It all started after England's impressive win. George Ford was the star of the show, wasn't he? He completely controlled the game, and those two quick-fire drop goals right before halftime were a total game-changer. They really shifted the momentum. Of course, this isn't new for Ford. We all remember his incredible hat-trick of drop goals against Argentina in the World Cup last year. He's become so reliable, especially under pressure. And it's that clutch ability that's earned him a spot on Stephen Donald's prestigious list. So, who made the cut? Donald, speaking on the Aftermatch with Kirsten Beef podcast, didn't hesitate. At number 1, he picked the legendary Springbok, Morne Steyn, a machine, plain and simple. At number 2, it had to be England's own World Cup hero, Jonny Wilkinson. And coming in at a very respectable number 3 is the man of the moment, George Ford. Donald says Ford's clean, striking under immense pressure is what sets him apart and earns him that spot. But Donald also gave a special shout-out to another player who didn't quite make his top 3, but delivered one of the most iconic and for Kiwis heartbreaking drop goals ever. He said, "There's one who I haven't put in the top 3, but he did one that broke a nation's heart. Joel Stransky, of course, the great South African who destroyed many a Kiwi heart in '95, he did it on the biggest stage. You just can't argue with that." The 1995 World Cup final, what a moment. Now, let's switch gears and talk about that England performance against the All Blacks. Donald was clearly impressed, and not just with George Ford. He pointed to several key players who really stood out. He started with winger Immanuel Feyi-Waboso. Donald has been a fan of his for a while and noted how England managed to create space for him on the edges. He said the All Blacks scramble defense just managed to contain him, but you got the feeling that if you gave him just a little more room, he'd be gone, a real threat out wide. Then, Donald moved on to the forwards, and he had high praise for Earl in the back row. He mentioned how the English loose forward trio is physically different from what New Zealand players are used to. He described them as chunks of meat, more in the powerful South African mold, just without the towering height. He highlighted how difficult they are to shift at the breakdown and how they carry the ball with such direct, uncomplicated power. They just back their physical mass to create that forward momentum, and it was incredibly effective. Finally, Donald gave a huge rap to center Ollie Lawrence. He even admitted that some friends had told him beforehand that Lawrence was a bit of a one-dimensional player. Well, Lawrence certainly proved them wrong. Donald called him outstanding and really powerful in the midfield. He said so many of the big, decisive moments in the match revolved around Lawrence's work. It just goes to show you can't always trust pre-game analysis. Sometimes a player just steps up and dominates. It was a tough day for the All Blacks, but it's clear England got their tactics spot on. Led by the masterclass from George Ford and backed up by immense power from players like Earl and Lawrence, they were just too good on the day. It really sets the stage for some exciting future matchups, doesn't it? What did you think of Donald's top 3, and who were your standout players from that England-New Zealand game? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more rugby analysis. We'll see you in the next one.